Hey everybody, today is April 14th, 2023. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And you're hanging with Uncle.
How's it going, man?
Good, man.
Good.
Let's get it out early before, you know me, I always mess up, man.
Yeah.
if this is, if you like the show and you like what we talk about, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow our viewer base, and hit that like button. It really helps our channel out.
Yeah, and hit the bell if you want notifications whenever we go live in the future, and also whenever we just post our VODs from when we go live, so you can tune in to us throughout the week whenever, because we only do the show on Fridays.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I do my little bit on Wednesday, but yeah, we're only together on Friday.
Right, true. We do a bit on Wednesday, yeah, of course. The bit, but the our show, this show, the show, the Hanging with Uncle show, where everything branched and originated from Fridays. But also, if you would like to come in and see us live and hang out and interact and chat, you definitely can do that because we do go live on Fridays as well.
That's right.
All right, we are good. We did the whole formalities. We're in it. Now, we got a few topics to talk about today. Honestly, not too many. It's been kind of a lackluster week.
Well, I know there's one topic that's off limits, and we're going to try really hard to stay
not
away
to beat
from
dead
that.
horses,
Yeah, but I know the first thing that I think we want to talk about was Uncle Clarence Thomas.
Oh yeah, he's one of my favorites, Mr. You can replace him with Samuel L. Jackson and Django if you need.
Right.
Himself. Sure, let's talk about him. It's another disappointing.
We know about him taking all these gifts, which of course you and I don't have access to.
Gifts.
And we know that his benefactor, Harlan Crow, a billionaire who's a donor to the Republican Party,
big donor,
didn't even have interest in Clarence Thomas until he was already on the bench. So it's kind of blatant out there in the open that, you can be my friend because there's something you can do for me because you're a Supreme Court justice. And all the gifts he's taken, the trips that he's taken, staying at his private residences and his private jets and yachts. And
there's like a family yacht video. I saw of him with this person's family. It's so it's weird to look at because he's not a part of the family, but literally the cousin, the aunt, the uncle, the family is there, and then Clarence Thomas. It's so odd, but also receiving big money donations and not reporting it is my understanding is kind of the big deal.
Well, yeah, those are the gifts. Well, plus they did receive cash as well as all these other gifts and things that they did not report that they are legally required to.
Right. Well, legally required after a certain amount. I think it's like $400, I think, is the limit. Then they have to report it. I heard it's like $200 to $400, which makes sense, I guess. But that's the rule. They have to report a certain amount. But this guy is obviously not donating less than $200 or $400.
Yeah, and
obviously,
and that leaves it looks bad. It gives an impression of impropriety. But I heard some even bigger news that came out this week that this guy Harlan Crow bought Clarence Thomas's house that his mother lives in.
Okay.
Redesigned it, remodeled it for her. So she's living rent-free. That's property sold. That's definitely reportable and was not.
Yeah.
And again, this guy is, I'll take care of your mom, but there's some decisions coming down to the court that, I need you to look this way on.
That's a little sketchy to me.
Yeah.
Because now accepting gifts is one thing. Yes, people get gifts. Whoop-de-doo. Gift. But it's not bribery because it's not, hey, you're getting these gifts to absolve an outcome or to have an outcome be the way I need it to be. He's giving these gifts because it sounds like he has a stance on what he supports.
It's a quid pro quo.
What does that mean?
It means this for that.
Okay.
I'll give you this if you do that.
Okay, got it. So yeah, that's exactly where I'm getting at. Is that like you're scratching my back, man? The money's coming in. You're not passing bills that are affecting me, like anything like that. So then here's a house for your mom. Here's a car. You come on vacation with me. And let me talk to you about non-business.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah, you're literally just talking about your whole vacation the whole time, right? Like, no. Normal people like you and I, we go on vacation to avoid work.
Right?
I feel like...
And we have to save.
Most of our... yeah, true. I feel like most of our government officials go on vacation for business instead of work. Because it seems like shit gets done when they go to the golf course.
That is so true, man. I really believe that politicians cater to the donor class, the people that help them. They could care.
It's biased.
They could care two shits about you or me and what we're going through, and
because what did we gave them?
Right, because we don't give them enough money, so we're not. They don't need to pay attention to us.
But it's not how it's supposed to work. They're supposed to give us what we need, vice versa.
You know, it's supposed to be government of the people, for the people,
right.
Not for the rich, for the people.
But again, we're still talking backwards. I don't know why, but that's a thing that we do here in America. We do things backwards. We say it's one way, and it's a completely different outcome. You don't even have to be a part of it.
It's one way for thee, but not for me.
Exactly. That's what, I was trying to remember what you said that last time. I was trying to remember that. But yeah, that's sketchy to me. Like, I already don't like Clarence Thomas enough, and it's not even like it's not that I don't like or hate people like that. It's just when it's just the abortion thing is one thing. And then
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later too. But also like him signing for it and such, all that nonsense. But also like his views don't match where we're supposed to be going, and yet people are paying him and giving him gifts to continue us going into this fucking shit sinkhole instead of doing better and moving forward in life and putting stuff towards things that are a little bit more progressive and productive towards our country.
I still believe Anita Hill.
I have what? Anita Hill?
Yeah. So this was back when in the 80s when he was going through his confirmation process to the court. Anita Hill came forward and accused him of sexual misconduct, just to put it politely.
Okay.
And he was confirmed 52-48. And this is one of the things I hold against Biden, because Biden was chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee at the time. And he's responsible for Clarence Thomas being on the court, in my opinion, because they could have shot that down with all the stuff that was going on with him.
Definitely could have.
But he was the one to replace Thurgood Marshall, the very first African American on the court. So
you don't make it right.
No, it doesn't make it right. You know, it's like, stop playing quotas and put the most qualified person on the bench.
What the hell? Okay.
So that's one thing I don't like about Joe Biden.
You're not supposed to like everything about him. I mean, I don't pay attention to government and news like that, to where I like the hidden meetings behind things that happened back in 18 whatever and all that nonsense. But like, I'm not for people who are for a progressive future, and that's it.
Yeah, and so, Clarence Thomas is definitely regressing. Definitely
regressing.
Yeah. So it relates. I mean, it happened 40 years ago, but look how it's impacting us today.
Right. Like I said, Sam Jackson in the in Django in the White House, basically.
Yeah.
He's got all of his friends there with him that are paying for him and your buddy, you're doing great, Clarence. Good job. And honestly, I feel like he's just being made a fool of himself anyways. He's a puppet within a puppet, and that sucks because, even though he does believe in the ideals, those people don't give a shit about him if they could find somebody who can easily replace him.
Right.
But man.
And see, and this is again what, we talk about, the team mentality, right? Because
as long as
obviously, he's should have some disciplinary action, up to and including impeachment and conviction, in my opinion. But because he's for the red team There's no way Kevin McCarthy's going to start impeachment proceedings in the House, which is where they're going to proceed.
Right.
But if it was a Democrat doing that, they'd be all over it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which is going to be part of my dumbass today. But
Hey.
and, it's just, again, let's follow the Constitution. Don't play team Republican or team Democrat. Be team Constitution. Look at the wrongdoings this guy has done, how it's impacting us American citizens, and kick his ass off the fucking court.
I've been preaching the team game for a long time, Gene. It's something I've seen. You don't just go and vote because it's blue. You just don't go and vote because it's red. You vote because of what you believe in. Honestly, I normally vote for the most humane circumstance because I feel like that's the go-to, honestly. Taking care of people, it's what I do, it's what I like to do. So, that's kind of how I aim my vote towards. It can be a Republican who helps people. If they put more money towards schools, boom, I'll take them.
It's about the issues like we talked about before. I voted for Mark Kelly here in Arizona because his opponent, Blake Masters, was talking about gutting Social Security.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude, you ain't getting my vote.
Yeah, and that affected, at that time, that affected people who I worked with. And not disclosing who I voted for, or disclosing words.
You got it right.
Yeah, is that what was right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but that is a sole reason to not vote for somebody. Me supporting people with special needs and disabilities back when, and felt it was wrong for me to vote for somebody who would take something that was so not special, but something so
sacred,
something so it's a necessity for those people.
It
helped them go to their day programs. It helped them go to their services that they needed throughout the day, physical therapy, treatment, medication, all of that. The Social Security went towards that. For you, for example, even medications on the list, I'm sure. Doctor visits, you being able to put food on the table. You're retired, where not all the money's coming from your retirement, I'm sure.
I do collect Social Security, so I depend on that,
right,
to keep a roof over my head.
Dependency,
and I paid for that in 40 working years of my life. So
right, you earned it. It's not necessarily paid for it, you earned it, and they just want to take away something that you earned because they don't feel like it's right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It just puts more money in your pocket.
Anyway, I'm sick of Uncle Clarence, and I wish the House of Representatives and the Senate would do their job. I wish the House would impeach, and I wish the Senate would convict.
Now, this is the type of uncle audience here. It's not us kind of uncle here hanging out. This is a Uncle Tom situation. Uncle.
Yeah.
So don't get it twisted. This is a negative uncle.
He's in Bizarro World uncle.
This is that bad uncle, the one that you don't want to go visit anymore.
Like the Dalai Lama.
Yo. I don't know what I mean.
Did we just make that transition?
I don't know. Is it uncle? The Dalai Lama is kind of in some hot water right now.
And rightfully so.
Now, before we get into the reason why, what is the importance of the Dalai Lama, Gene? Because I would like to have some clarification of all this. Who is the Dalai Lama?
In my limited knowledge, the Dalai Lama is supposed to be somebody that preaches peace, love, and unity, no hatred or bias. That is what he's supposed to represent.
Okay.
Everything good and wholesome in the world, to break it down to an elementary level.
Right. Okay. So then, now, would the words from somebody of that stature in a sentence strung together like this say "suck my tongue" at all? You heard it clear, folks. Suck my tongue.
I would say we'd have to look into context. However, looking at the video...
the video context, just to clarify more about the situation, the Dalai Lama had 120 students go and show up just to learn about the preachings and the way and all the good stuff, just to learn about the temple and all the good things. Kids came up, talked to the Dalai Lama, and walked away. And then one boy came up to him and, Dalai Lama gave him a hug and then asked him for a kiss on the cheek, then got that kiss on the cheek, and then got a kiss on the lips, which I was like,
That was a step too far already, right there.
Then the kid came, little peck on the lips from the Dalai Lama. Oh, he's being special, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. And then the gestures of tapping his face and saying, suck my tongue, and then
Sticking his tongue out.
and then approaching and getting closer to the child. The video cuts out, thank God. But not necessarily saying the kid did, but he felt embarrassed. The Dalai Lama should be embarrassed. I feel embarrassed because we preach how leadership needs to lead with exceptional traits here. And the Dalai Lama, knowing him being a leader, I don't think asking children of the age of 12 to suck your tongue is a good thing.
Holy men are supposed to be men of faith. But, it just goes to show you that even the Dalai Lama is just a man. So
true.
Holding them, up on this pedestal, for just because of the title they hold. Come on, people, look and see. Just do your research. Find out who this dude is.
Right, exactly. So it's like, man, that's a little rough. Now, people have come out against it. Of course, obviously, it's something it's not normal in any culture. But there are some people,
none I know of.
Some people are trying to say, "Oh, it's cultural stuff, whatever." Like being playful, sticking your tongue out. People like that. I get that. I've seen that, but not the phrase. Again, like I said earlier, "suck my tongue" in that. In that order. So, I don't know.
Where was he going to go after that?
Exactly. All right, we got to go to bed now. It's past your bedtime. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's more of just like a call to attention to kind of story, kind of a weird story that we saw over the week.
Very weird, yeah.
But if you want to go check it out, definitely can if you want to. It's available. But, it's a weird thing to go check out. But yeah, be safe checking that video out, because it is kind of creepy and gross.
I can say I was an altar boy. I grew up Catholic, right? And I was an altar boy. I never had one bad experience with a priest. That's just me. I knew a lot of other altar boys. None of them ever had any problems with the priest, and the church that we went to. And that's why it kind of like when I started hearing all this stuff, I'm like, thank God none of this was going around when I was a kid as an altar boy working in this environment.
Yeah, the world is different now these days. It's like the jokes that you make are actually becoming reality.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like, the, priest after children, white man, like that kind of joke, whatever. There are some, yes, who have done dumb things. There are teachers who have done dumb things with children. There are officers who have done people. Like, it's just not one derogatory, like just one person, like the priests do it all the time. But
right.
It's just, it's like the jokes that they used to make as a kid, the jokes you used to make, like Family Guy-esque jokes, like if to put it into like a range there, are coming alive and are becoming a real life thing. And it's like, wait a minute, it's not a joke, that's real, and we got to kind of focus on that.
Yeah.
Because, it really is. Like, thinking about it, just like all the things that were funny as kids back when that we used to joke about are really becoming more of a prevalent thing in life, and it needs to be stopped.
I wonder if that's why, like, a really funny comedian when I was a kid growing up, Dick Gregory, black comedian, all the jokes he was making about things happening, and this is like back during the civil rights era.
Yeah.
Equality and all that stuff. At some point, things stop being funny, and you have to address them for the seriousness that they have in our community, in our society.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of comedians now that I don't see doing stand-up anymore that are now into dramatic roles. I mean, very few even Dave Chappelle,
Yeah, his shows are a little bit more serious.
They really are. He's more storytelling than joke-telling now.
I don't know. The world still needs to understand there are actual, like, it's funny. Like, jokes are supposed to be jokes. But, like, then there are people who are oversensitive. And then there are people who are actually passionate about the topic who also are sensitive about it. But then there are people who are okay to take the jokes. It just goes in a full circle all the time to where it's just like it's gotta stop. But with people taking things too literal and too serious, like comedians, for example, then that's when either radical ideas manifest, or even then, like we said, minimalizing things and taking things as a joke instead of it being a realistic thing. It kind of takes not necessarily the impact behind something, but the seriousness behind something away from it. Like, you can joke about a school shooting, but that's not the taste now, because people are starting to realize, like, oh, that would have been a joke a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now it's not a joke because it's serious, but when a long time ago it really wasn't a joke in the first place. It's like, it's so weird to think about what kind of society we're in now these days, because these things, they didn't exist, they weren't so en masse back when.
I remember Chris Rock's joke about if you want to have sensible gun legislation, he'll give guns away for free, but charge $10,000 a bullet, and then you'll know that whoever got shot deserved it.
Right.
Instead of just like making it so
true, though.
Like
that's a joke. Like, again.
But you can tell that joke now.
You can tell that joke now. Yeah, exactly. It's just, I don't know. Our society needs to start waking up and understanding that there are actual situations like these in life, and that we can't minimize these situations, but also not like, I don't know, like it's just, it's hard to explain, man, because we know where we're going with this. I'm trying to, it's on the tip of my tongue here. I know where I'm going with this. It's just, it's not something that we are understanding still. I feel like
we need to have more of a conscious awareness.
We do. There you go. Thank you. A conscious awareness on when to joke and when not to, when things are serious and when things aren't serious. The internet personalities now people come up with or even become because of their presence on the internet.
Yeah,
it desensitizes them to it.
Time for another segue, man.
Yeah,
it's something serious that is no joke. Conservatives in this country have been successful at overturning Roe versus Wade and infringing upon a woman's right to her own reproductive freedom. And now they're taking it a step farther and banning misoprostone, which they call it the abortion pill. But doctors prescribe this for multiple reasons, and it's not always just for abortion. But we have these crackpots wearing the black robes who are so conservative and want to impose their religious beliefs on the rest of society instead of... Basically, they're practicing medicine without a license from the bench. And that's how I look at this. This is a case going on in Texas now, and the Supreme Court has put a stay on it until they can hear the case. So... again, it's like our freedoms are being challenged and taken away by the party that says they're so pro-freedom. And to me, Republicans are just the party of hypocrisy because they're trying to discriminate against over half the country based on gender. Because like I said before, man, you and I can go to our urologist and get a vasectomy or whatever we not want done with our reproductive rights and wear the picket signs. But go to Planned Parenthood or any OB office, and they're out there every day, all day.
Yeah, there's one over by a dispensary I like to go to, and it hasn't, well, obviously it's not open, it's not in business right now, but there's still, like, people out there, they'll stand out there and picket or stand out there. Literally, there was one time I drove by, people actually were sitting at a table that had a sign in front of the building.
Yeah.
Who were talking about protesting Planned Parenthood. It's just, that's the kind of stuff that we've talked about earlier, that you need to understand the seriousness of actually what an abortion is, the utilization of it, why it gets... why it's even a medical practice to begin with, and then be able to speak your own way. Just because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it doesn't work for the next person. It doesn't mean it isn't something the next person needs.
Yeah, I believe this, so therefore you have to act like that.
Right, exactly.
And that's how Republicans are treating this issue.
Yeah,
and a lot of other issues.
Exactly, and that's just not okay, because there are scenarios where an abortion is needed. We've talked about it before. Rape's one of the biggest cases for reasons for it.
Or even a woman that wants the child, but there's something medically wrong.
That's what I was going to
where the woman goes like into sepsis before the doctor is allowed to do anything. Again, stop practicing medicine without a license from the bench. You stupid fucking assholes.
Yeah, I have a big problem with that because it's a medical practice for a reason. Like, you don't practice the medicine when there isn't a positive use for it. If there isn't a reason for it, basically, period. Like, I don't know. It's something that, again, we're going to continue to have to fight it for, of course, and it sucks that we do have to now because people are just have their own opinions about things that are incorrect.
And, I used to be out in the street all the time. You know that. I was a precinct committee person. I bet you got tired of signing petitions every time you came over here, all the stuff I was out there trying to do to help.
No, not necessarily, because some of the petitions got us where we are today with, like, medical marijuana and all those other great Social Security recreational use. You had one for there's a few other things. I
had one for like dark money.
Yeah, the dark money one. Honestly, the dark money one was cool.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa, yeah, I'll sign for that. Teach you more about the dark money, Gene.
I feel like now this is my outlet. This is my way of
getting that information
out there. Yeah.
Instead
of knocking on doors all the time and hoping nobody's on the other side of it with a shotgun or something.
And we still use our platform not necessarily as information for you guys, but just for you to go and be like, oh, that's a thing? Are you sure?
Yeah.
To literally ask questions in your brain, to go and look and research it yourself, because that's literally what makes a progressive society, is learning on your own and figuring out what's real and what's not, because what's fact and what's fiction.
And being progressive is a good thing. That's why when I hear people say, oh, they don't make things like they used to. No, they make them better because we progressed to where we are now.
Right. Yeah, I never understood that phrase either, because everything is better today.
Yeah.
Really, it is.
But anyway, I think this is now time to get into our dumbass of the week, man.
Yeah, mine's a little weird. I didn't really plan for it to be part of my dumbass of the week, but I guess
it needs to be.
I guess so. It's not necessarily like something that I need to like preach, whatever, but it's something I'm over. I'm done with. Like, it's beyond me to like even like understand why it's still a thing. The word woke. I'm over it, man. It's another ignorant word in my mind these days, because it really is just something that people throw out there and throw a slap on it, and boom, that's what it is, and it's done. I don't even have to worry about it, learn about it, whatever. It's just woke. Be done. Right. It's literally the way to cancel your mind from trying to learn about something new.
Right.
Because you're too afraid to go and learn about that new thing. Now, it goes from many different ranges, from people who are throwing out their Bud Light and replacing it with Coors, who also sponsored Gay Pride Month, and also parades, and literally was the main sponsor for one of the biggest parades, actually, to my understanding. Like that, I'm gonna drink Coors now. Like, come on, dude. Like, stop.
Right.
Like, we do. Yes, we hear Uncle preach about put your money where you would like to support it. Blah blah blah. But you're gonna run out of. You're definitely gonna run out of beers of choice if you think that's where you're gonna put your money or base your stance off of. Again, I preach for people being humane and being who they are, and I'm all for it. If somebody is changing this, if somebody is feeling this way, if somebody wants to look like that, it does not affect me personally as Zane. It affects them because it's how they want their life to be. They are not woke to me. They are not different to me. They are a human being. And anything that is different is woke now these days.
You know,
Like, it's just, I'm tired of the term.
he's eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He's woke. You know, shut the fuck up.
It originated as a joke, honestly. I feel like the word woke, how it was used, originated as a joke and then just skyrocketed into some stupid fucking whatever the hell it is now today. Like, I am not a woke cultured person. You know how I would say that? It's because I am me. I am what I choose to be in my own culture and how I feel to represent.
And you don't get to define us.
Exactly. It's not, you don't define me. Don't put a label on me. And that's what that word does. I feel like it just puts a label. It's just like all the other words that label people to segregate people and to not. Anyways, that's me. So
No, you're absolutely right.
Get over the word. Find something else new. If you really don't like, if you don't like things the way they are, say it so we can label you as something else. Then.
So
I don't know, man.
like a dumbass. So
there we go.
I'm labeling Gymnasium Jordan, the Republican congressman from Ohio, Jim Jordan. I call him Gymnasium. That's a whole other, you know, sexual abuse thing that he was involved in back in Ohio State.
Okay.
So we talked about him violating the 10th Amendment, trying to interfere and obstruct, you know, Alvin Bragg in his job in his criminal prosecution of the Tangerine Terror. And, you know, they wrote to him, said, look, you don't have jurisdiction here. 10th Amendment, states' rights. We're sovereign. You have no jurisdiction. And he wouldn't stop because he's got that mindset, oh, I'm going to own the libs. So I'm going to keep doing it and you're not going to tell me what to
That's
do, right?
another thing, man.
So Alvin Bragg punched him in the mouth, sued him in federal court to stop him from interfering and obstructing a government procedure, which that's what the criminal justice department is. They're the law enforcement branch of government. You know, they fall under the judicial branch, and he has no jurisdiction. He's gonna find out really fast when the judge gives him a lesson on, bless you, on the 10th Amendment of the Constitution and the separation of powers, and then hopefully Gymnasium Jordan will finally shut the fuck up. I mean, how can you be head of the Judiciary Committee and not even be an attorney?
I don't know.
You know, it's stupid. But again, that's Kevin McCarthy and his
Band bandits.
dumbass, you know, running of the House of Representatives, putting dumbass Gymnasium Jordan in the head of the Judiciary Committee.
There you go.
He doesn't know what he's doing, and he's getting sued because of it, because he's a dumbass. Anyway,
There you go.
that's all I got.
Hey, I mean, it works. I agree. Honestly, like properly labeled dumbass of the week there. I think mine doesn't really. It's not a person to give a crown to. It's just
It still
I'm
works.
over it. It still works.
It works. Yeah.
But that's all the time that we have today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Yes.
Please tune in next week for our next show on Friday. I'm Zane,
And I'm Gene.
and it's been Hanging with Uncle.
And we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Be safe, everyone.
Bye.